Tom is a 74-year-old man living with his wife in the suburbs of Kansas. His entire life was a series of early mornings filled with work, taking care of his family, and living a simple and healthy lifestyle. He never smoked, ate in moderation, and still took regular walks every evening. To those around him, Tom was the picture of a vibrant and active old age. But then, one autumn morning, his wife Linda woke up and noticed that Tom was still lying motionless. She thought he was sleeping soundly, just like every other day, but this time, he never woke up again. Doctors could not find any serious underlying conditions. His blood pressure was normal. His cholesterol levels were fine. So what caused a man who seemed perfectly healthy to pass away in his sleep? Linda could not stop asking herself, did we overlook something? Was there a habit that unknowingly put him at risk without us realizing it? The truth is, after the age of 60 or 70, there are seemingly harmless bedtime habits that can silently impact the heart, sleep quality, and even a person's life. Small things like eating late, drinking an extra glass of water, or simply lying in the wrong position can trigger a chain reaction that gradually weakens the body without anyone noticing. In today's video, I will walk with you through 10 bedtime habits people over 60 should avoid. Each section is not just health advice. It is a series of gentle reminders filled with love just for you, the one who is trying each day to live a healthier and more meaningful life. Keeping yourself healthy does not have to be complicated. Sometimes, just one small adjustment in the evening can help you sleep better, wake up feeling lighter, and live longer with those you love most. So sit down, relax your shoulders, and let us begin this journey of caring for yourself, starting tonight. And trust me, habit number 7 might be something you are doing every night without ever realizing how much it could be affecting your health. Let me know if you want this adapted for a voiceover or made more dramatic for YouTube script style. Number 1. Heavy late-night meals, the silent threat after 7 p.m. Mrs. Judith, our former neighbor, was a 77-year-old woman who was always full of energy. She loved baking for the whole neighborhood and often had dinner late at night, saying, "After I eat, I watch a movie and then go straight to bed. No midnight hunger." But one morning, her husband George called me over in a panic. Mrs. Judith had passed away in her sleep, as quietly as a candle being blown out. She had no history of heart disease. She went for regular checkups. But the night before, she had a heavy dinner around 9 p.m., pot roast, mashed potatoes, and a slice of baked apple pie. The doctor later explained that this late and heavy meal may have contributed to her heart being overwhelmed during rest. The truth is, after the age of 60, the body no longer digests food as quickly as it used to. The digestive system slows down, enzyme production decreases, and the heart muscle becomes weaker. If you eat a large meal after 7 p.m., your body stays awake all night, your stomach keeps churning, acid rises, your heart beats faster, when in fact, this should be the time for every organ to rest. I understand. Sometimes we think, oh, I have always eaten this way, it is fine. But here is the sad part. The body does not complain right away. It silently endures until it can no longer do so. If you have ever felt bloated, struggled to fall asleep, experienced shortness of breath in the middle of the night, or noticed your heart pounding after dinner, those could be warning signs. Do not ignore them. So what should you do? It is very simple. Try to finish your main dinner before 6:30 or 7 p.m. And if you really feel hungry afterward, choose something light. A banana, a few walnuts, or a cup of herbal tea. Your body will thank you the next morning when you wake up, feeling light, refreshed, and not weighed down. Today's small lesson? Eating dinner on time does more than help you sleep well. It is a quiet yet powerful way to protect your heart. And if your evening meal is your nightly companion, then so is your habit of drinking water. But how you drink, so that it does not wake your body up in the middle of the night, is a whole different story. I will share that with you in the next part. Number 2. Overhydration at night, when water becomes risky. Mr. Bill, a close friend of my grandfather, is now 82 years old and still sharp and cheerful. But something happened that gave the whole family quite a scare. One night, around 2 a.m., he got up to use the restroom. It was cold, the room was dark, and he hurried out of bed without putting on his slippers. As soon as he stepped down, he felt dizzy. He fell and hit his head on the corner of a cabinet. Fortunately, the fall was not serious, but from that day on, his wife and children tightened the family's evening water drinking habits. The truth is, everyone knows staying hydrated is important, especially for older adults. But what many people do not realize is that drinking too much water close to bedtime can do more harm than good. After age 70, the body no longer retains water as well as it used to. The bladder becomes smaller, muscle control weakens, and the hormones that help retain fluids overnight decrease. As a result, you may have to wake up once or twice, or even more, to urinate during the night. Each time this happens, your heart has to adjust its rhythm. Your blood pressure drops slightly when you stand up, and that can be extremely dangerous, especially in the dark. Beyond the risk of falling, disrupted sleep prevents the brain from getting proper rest. Many studies have shown that older adults who frequently wake up to urinate are at higher risk for issues like memory decline and mild depression. And it is not just water. Herbal teas, broth at dinner, or water-rich fruits like watermelon or oranges all contribute to filling the bladder, often without us realizing it. So what should you do? I am not suggesting you stop drinking water completely, but try reducing your intake after 6 p.m., and if you feel thirsty, just take small sips. During the day, make up for it by drinking regularly, spreading it out across the first 6 to 8 hours after waking up. Today's small lesson. Drinking water is a way of loving your body, but drinking at the right time, in the right way, that is loving smart. And when your body can rest fully, without being awakened by your biological clock knocking at 1 or 2 a.m., sleep becomes more peaceful and restorative. But there's one more thing many people overlook. Room temperature. Many older adults like to keep their bedroom warm for comfort, but if it is too warm, it can overwork the heart and disrupt your sleep. In the next section, I will share with you a story about that very topic. Number 3. Sleeping too warm when comfort turns dangerous. I still remember every time I visited Mrs. Evelyn, an old friend of my grandmother. Her bedroom always felt like summer. She preferred it that way, saying, "It is only at 75 degrees Fahrenheit that I can sleep well. If it is cold, my joints start creaking." So she used an electric blanket, wore thick pajamas, and kept all the windows shut to block out any draft. At first, everyone just thought she was a little particular. But then she began to complain about restless sleep, waking up tired, and sometimes feeling her heart racing or experiencing slight dizziness in the morning. It turned out the very warmth she thought was comforting was actually the problem. After age 70, our bodies lose the ability to regulate temperature as effectively as before. Heat dissipation slows, blood vessels expand more slowly, and we sweat less. So if we sleep in a room that is too warm, the body cannot release heat properly, and internal temperature gradually rises throughout the night. This forces the heart to work harder to try and cool the body, leading to an abnormally elevated heart rate during sleep, a time when the heart is supposed to rest. Even worse, slight dehydration, which often goes unnoticed, can cause the blood to thicken just enough to increase the risk of blood clots, strokes, or heart attacks during sleep. I know many older adults enjoy the feeling of warmth, especially in colder regions. But the truth is, a slightly cool bedroom actually helps promote deeper sleep, better recovery, and a more stable cardiovascular system throughout the night. Doctors recommend keeping the bedroom temperature between 60 and 67 degrees for ideal sleep. If you are afraid of feeling cold, you can use a light cotton blanket, wear thin socks to keep your feet warm, or choose breathable pajamas that absorb moisture well. Today's small lesson. Deep sleep does not require sweating under heavy warmth. A light blanket and a gently cool room are enough to let the heart rest peacefully through the night. And now, I want to share with you a habit that may seem simple, but directly affects your breathing and heart rate every night. Your sleeping position. Many people sleep on their back without realizing that this posture can cause them to stop breathing during sleep, without ever knowing it. To understand this better, let us move on to the next section. Number 4. Sleeping on your back when a comfortable habit becomes harmful. Mr. Robert, a dear old friend of my grandfather in Arizona, is now 76 years old and has been living with his wife for over 50 years. She shared that for as long as she could remember, he had one habit he could never shake: sleeping on his back, hands resting gently on his stomach, a routine he picked up during his time in the military. At first, she only noticed that he snored loudly, sometimes with a raspy breath, but in recent months, she began to hear brief pauses in his breathing. Just a few seconds, then he would gasp for air, startling her awake in the middle of the night. He insisted it was nothing, saying, "It is just old age." But after going to the doctor for persistent fatigue, morning headaches, and occasional memory lapses, he was diagnosed with mild sleep apnea, directly related to his habit of sleeping on his back. I know many people are used to sleeping on their back because it feels comfortable, especially for those with back pain. But for people over 60, that position can lead to more serious health problems than we might expect. When you sleep on your back, gravity causes the tongue and soft tissues in the throat to fall backward, partially blocking the airway. This makes breathing more labored, reduces the amount of oxygen reaching the brain, and forces the heart to work harder. Meanwhile, the body receives no warning. You may think you are sleeping soundly, but in reality, you are resting in a state of oxygen deprivation. And it is not just back sleeping that poses risks. Sleeping on the right side is also not ideal, as it can put extra pressure on the heart and slow circulation, especially dangerous for those with cardiovascular conditions. The position most recommended by experts is sleeping on the left side. This helps the heart pump blood more efficiently, eases pressure on the lungs and stomach, and also reduces acid reflux, a common issue for many older adults. If you find it difficult to stay on your left side throughout the night, here's a simple tip. Place a body pillow or a rolled towel behind your back to prevent yourself from rolling over. Adding a thin pillow between your knees can also help reduce pressure on the hips and spine. Today's small lesson. Some things may seem minor, like the way we sleep, but they can make a huge difference for your heart rate, breathing, and even your clarity when you wake up. Sleep is the time for your body to heal itself, but if you unknowingly choose the wrong position, your heart might be working overtime in silence instead of resting. And speaking of silence, there is another issue quietly affecting many older adults: the growing dependence on sleeping pills. It may sound helpful, but in reality, it is a double-edged sword. I will tell you more about that in the next section. Number 5. Sleeping pills: the hidden risks behind a quiet night. Mrs. Elaine, a longtime friend of my grandmother, was always meticulous when it came to taking care of her health. Every meal included vegetables, she drank plenty of water, and exercised regularly. But there was one thing I only learned much later: she had been taking sleeping pills every night for nearly 6 years. She was not careless. She simply thought, "It is just a tiny pill to help me sleep through the night." But over time, she found she could not fall asleep without it. And what was even more concerning, as time went on, she started waking up feeling more fatigued, her memory declined, and her emotions became increasingly unstable. During a routine checkup, her doctor told her that even though the dosage was small, long-term use could affect brain function, heart health, and increase the risk of falling during the night. She was shocked. She had never imagined that this artificial sleep could slowly weaken her day by day. I share this story because many older adults have told me the same thing. At my age, it is normal not to sleep well. If there is something that helps, why not use it? But the truth is, after the age of 60, the body becomes more sensitive to sedative medications. Sleeping pills that seem harmless can actually slow the heart rate, cause confusion at night, and raise the risk of falling, especially if you get up to use the restroom while still half asleep. And it does not stop there. Sleeping pills interfere with the body's natural sleep cycles, meaning that even if you sleep for 8 hours, you might still wake up tired because your body never truly entered deep, restorative sleep. So, if not pills, then what? How can we sleep more easily? Here are a few gentle suggestions that have worked well for many older adults. About an hour before bed, turn off all screens, phones, TVs, tablets. Drink a cup of chamomile tea or warm water with a few slices of dried red apple. Listen to calming music, or try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds. And if you are still concerned, you can speak with your doctor about low-dose melatonin, a more natural and safer option for older adults. Today's small lesson. A good night's sleep should not come from a pill. It should come from peace of mind and healthy habits. We do not need to force the body to sleep, but rather gently guide it into sleep. And sometimes, it is the smallest things, like the light from a television or phone screen, that quietly steal our sleep each night. I will talk more about that in the next section, because you might be dealing with it without even realizing it. Number 6. Blue light from screens, how a quiet glow can steal your sleep. Mr. Henry, a chess buddy of my grandfather's at the park, had a nightly habit he described as a little fun to help me fall asleep. Every evening before bed, he would watch the news on TV, then scroll on his phone for a few minutes to read headlines or look at photos his great-grandchildren had sent. He would say, "Just a few minutes, and then I turn it off right away." But soon he started complaining that it was getting harder to fall asleep. He would toss and turn for hours, wake up late, feel tired, and drag through the entire day. At first, he thought it was just aging. But the real culprit was the blue light from his TV and phone screens. Did you know that the blue light emitted from electronic devices is very similar in wavelength to daylight? When your eyes are exposed to it at night, your brain mistakenly thinks it is still daytime and stops producing melatonin, the hormone that makes you feel sleepy and helps you enter deep sleep. This means that even though your eyes may be closed, your brain is still awake, alert, tense, and overstimulated, as if it were the middle of the day. That is why the more time you spend watching screens before bed, the harder it is to fall asleep. And even when you do sleep, the quality of that sleep is often very poor. I completely understand. Those evening shows, those sweet photos from grandkids, they bring a little joy before bedtime. But if they quietly steal your sleep night after night, is it really worth it? Thankfully, the solution is simple and gentle. Turn off all screen devices at least 45 minutes before bedtime. If you want to unwind, try listening to an audiobook, soft instrumental music, or simply sit quietly in warm ambient lighting and practice gentle breathing. You can also switch your phone to night shift or blue light filter mode, but even then, it is best to limit screen use altogether before bed. Today's small lesson. A dark, quiet room without the glow of screens is one of the most peaceful gifts you can give your sleep each night. And sometimes it is not just light that disturbs our sleep, it is the thoughts inside our minds. The quiet worries, the restless reflections, the things we cannot let go of before bed. Next, I want to share something deeply important, because many older adults carry these silent burdens. Nighttime anxiety, that feels small but weighs heavily on the heart. We will explore that in the next section, and how to gently let it go. Number 7. Evening worry rituals, when quiet thoughts keep you awake. Mr. Ray, a former accountant and an old neighbor, was always thoughtful and deeply devoted to his family. Even though he had retired more than 10 years ago, he kept a nightly habit, lying in bed and thinking about everything. Finances, health, his children, even whether his granddaughter would find a job after graduation. Mrs. Ray shared that some nights he would lie awake in silence for 2 hours, sighing, turning over, getting up for a drink of water, then lying back down again. She loved him dearly and knew he was simply caring for everyone. But one night she gently asked him, "Have you truly had a restful night's sleep, or have you just been closing your eyes for a little while and waking up even more tired?" I believe Mr. Ray is not alone. Many older adults have the same habit. The lights go out, and that is when the heart starts to open up, but only to oneself, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, dwelling on things we cannot change. But here's the truth, even unspoken worries at night trigger the body to react as if it were in danger. The heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow, and most importantly, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, quietly disrupting your sleep without you even realizing it. I am not saying you should stop caring. How can you not worry when you have lived, lost, and seen so much in life? But what you can do is choose when to think, and right before sleep is not the best time. So what can we do instead? About 30 minutes before bed, Take a few minutes to write down anything that is bothering you. Even just a note like, "Daughter's situation, think about it tomorrow." This tells your brain that the issue has been acknowledged and it can rest for now. Try a gratitude exercise. Each night, write down 3 things that brought you peace today. Even something as small as, "The weather was nice," or "Dinner tasted just right." If you have a habit of praying, reciting scripture, or reading poetry, that too is a powerful way to soothe the mind. Today's small lesson: worrying does not make anything better, but proper rest gives you the strength to face tomorrow with clarity and calm. And it is not just the mind that affects sleep. Sometimes it is the physical discomfort, those little aches and pains we quietly endure that cause tossing, turning, or waking up in the middle of the night. In the next section, I will talk more about that because you might be silently putting up with it when you do not have to. Number 8. Ignoring body cues when small discomforts disrupt deep rest. Miss Martha, a longtime friend of my mother, is a strong and resilient woman. She is 72 years old, lives alone, still tends her garden, bakes, and even teaches art classes to children in the neighborhood. She is always smiling and often says, "I am old now. Some pain is normal, I am used to it." But there was something she did not pay attention to. A dull ache in her knee every time she lay on her side, or the slight numbness in her left shoulder when she woke up in the morning. She never complained, never took medication, just brushed it off as no big deal, and carried on. Until one day, she realized she had not had a full night's sleep for several weeks. She told me she would wake up multiple times every night without knowing why, just feeling restless, tossing and turning. When she finally went to the doctor, she learned that those minor pains were actually preventing her from entering deep sleep. I share this story because many older adults are used to enduring discomfort. We think, "I have lived with it for so long, it is not worth mentioning." But the truth is, your body is still reacting, still sending quiet signals asking to be cared for. We have just become used to ignoring them. Sleep is when the body repairs and heals itself. But if you are lying in an awkward position, using the wrong kind of pillow, or dealing with even mild physical discomfort, the brain stays alert, and it cannot fully enter the restorative stages of sleep. So what can you do to help your body truly relax before bed? Place a thin pillow between your knees if you sleep on your side. This helps reduce pressure on your hips and lower back. Use a soft body pillow in front of your chest to keep your shoulders in a natural position. If you have joint pain, try applying a warm compress for 15 minutes before bed, or gently massage the area with light oil to ease tension. Today's small lesson: loving your body does not only mean going to the doctor when something feels serious. Sometimes it is as simple as placing a pillow in the right spot, or listening to the quiet message from a tired leg or aching joint. And if nighttime is when the body heals, then morning is when the body needs to be gently reawakened. Sadly, many people skip this crucial moment, leading to a disrupted sleep-wake cycle that affects the whole day. In the next section, I will share why what you do right after waking up plays a huge role in determining the quality of your sleep that night. Number 9. Skipping a pre-sleep routine when your body does not know it is time to rest. I remember something Mr. Thomas, a close friend of my grandfather, once said that I will never forget. "Sleep? When it is time, you just go to sleep. No need to prepare for it." He said that because after decades of working, he was used to lying down and falling asleep without any kind of routine. But once he retired, his daily schedule changed. He often stayed up late, woke up late, and sometimes stayed up watching movies or reading the news. And from that point on, his sleep became irregular. Some nights he could not fall asleep, and other nights he slept but still woke up feeling tired. I believe many older adults have thought the same way as Mr. Thomas, that sleep is a natural thing and does not need preparation. But in reality, both the body and the brain deeply crave routine. They operate like a biological clock that needs clear signals to recognize when it is time to rest. If we do not follow a consistent set of activities before bed, such as eating dinner at the same time, gradually dimming the lights, listening to soft music, reading, or washing the face with warm water, then the brain stays in daytime mode and struggles to shift into relaxation. It is like preparing to welcome a guest. You tidy up, turn on the lights, open the door. Your body also needs a small ritual to welcome sleep. Here are a few things you can try to build a bedtime routine. Turn off all electronic devices at least 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. Drink a cup of non-caffeinated tea, such as chamomile or warm ginger tea. Read a light book or write a few lines in a journal, perhaps something you felt grateful for today. Take a warm shower or soak your feet in warm ginger water to improve circulation and calm the mind. Play some gentle music or even natural sounds like soft rain or ocean waves. Doing this consistently each night, even for just 5 to 20 minutes, will help your body recognize, it is time to rest now. Today's small lesson. Your body does not need anything grand to sleep well. It only needs a gentle reminder, offered with love, consistency, and calm. And if nighttime is the time for the body to close the day, then morning is where a new cycle begins. Yet many people overlook this golden moment, leading to disrupted sleep without even realizing it. In the next section, I will share with you why what you do right after waking up in the morning can actually determine whether or not you will sleep well the following night. Number 10. Missing the morning after, when skipping your start affects your sleep. Miss Linda, a family acquaintance of my mother, is a very kind and pleasant woman. Since retiring, she developed a habit of staying in bed longer in the mornings. She would say, "It is cold in the early morning. Lying in a bit longer feels more comfortable. What is the harm?" So each day she would get up close to 9 a.m., have a late breakfast, and sometimes take a nap in the afternoon. Sometimes not. At first, she thought she was simply enjoying retirement. But after just a few months, she began experiencing sleep problems. Difficulty falling asleep at night, waking up frequently, and still feeling tired in the morning. She did not understand why, until her doctor explained that the way she was starting her day was quietly disrupting her body's biological rhythm. Did you know that our bodies operate according to a biological clock called the circadian rhythm, the sleep-wake cycle that is closely tied to natural light? Waking up at a consistent time, getting exposure to early morning light, and moving the body gently all send a clear signal to the brain. A new day has begun. And this helps the body produce melatonin at the right time in the evening, making it easier to fall asleep. On the other hand, if we stay in bed too long in the morning, avoid sunlight, or eat at inconsistent times, the brain receives mixed signals, causing delayed or shallow sleep at night. So the morning, which may seem unrelated, is actually the first piece of the puzzle for a good night's rest. Here is a gentle morning routine that many have found helpful. Set an alarm to wake up at a consistent time every day, even on weekends. Open the window for natural light or step outside for a few minutes of early sunshine. Stretch your body, roll your neck, stretch your legs and arms to improve circulation. Drink a glass of warm water, followed by a light breakfast like porridge, oatmeal, toast, or fruit. If possible, take a 10-minute walk outdoors, or simply spend time in the garden watering plants and enjoying nature. Today's small lesson. Every morning is a chance to reset your biological clock. Starting the day the right way not only helps you feel alert throughout the day, but also makes it easier for you to fall asleep peacefully and deeply at night. Sleep does not begin at 9 p.m. It begins the moment you open your eyes in the morning. And now, we have gone through all 10 essential bedtime habits. Seemingly small things that can make a big difference in the health and well-being of anyone over 60. In the next section, I will help you recap everything, because every small change you make today could become a great gift for your tomorrow. Thank you to you, and to everyone who has stayed with us until the very last moments of today's video. The fact that you took the time to listen, reflect, and take care of yourself is already a priceless gift. I know. It is not easy to change habits, especially those that have been with us for many years. But if you have ever asked yourself, how can I sleep better, live healthier, and stay mentally sharp each day? Then the answer lies in the small things we do each evening. Let me remind you of something very important. You do not need to become young again. You only need to be healthy, to live each day fully, to enjoy every moment with the people you love. And if today even one part of this video resonated with you, even just a small thing, please leave a comment with the number that corresponds to the habit that spoke to you the most. It could be number 3 if you tend to sleep in a warm room, or number 7 if you often find yourself worrying before bed. I will read every single comment and walk with you on this journey toward better health day by day. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with someone you care about, a sibling, an old friend, or someone you love. Because who knows, one small change today could help them live happier and healthier tomorrow. With all my love and respect, I say goodbye to you. May you have a deep, restful sleep tonight and a peaceful, gentle morning tomorrow. See you in the next video.